Sanibona, ngaphambi singene kwivideo namuhla, ngithi angithathe lethuba ngibonge i-support nothando enikhombise lona lingaphezu kokucabanga kwethu. Siyacela niqhubeke nisisupport njalo ngokubuka amavideo ethu, ungakhohlwa ukukhomenta, ushare, ulike. Siyafisa ukuzwa umbono wakho. Sicela ke singene kwivideo namuhla. Izolo i-DA ihambile yovula icala Western Cape High Court lapho ebivulela khona uMinister of Higher Education and Training uDr Nobuhle Nkabane for misleading iParliament. Siyifakile ke ivideo la bechaza khona uGoguzile ukuthi isizathu esenza ukuthi bayobikela bawovula leli cala isiphi, nanokuthi sebeyile kwi-public protector baphinde baya na ku-ethics committee. Omunye ke ngazibuza ukuthi uma beyile na ku-ethics committee kungani ke baphuthume enkantolo. Kodwa ke kwi-video engiyibukile izolo kwi-show kaClement engicabanga sizoyicaphuna la, ubaba uMdumiseni Ntuli uphendulile lo mbuzo loyo. Noma eshilo uClement wathi inkinga lezi zinto lama institution athatha isikhathi eside manje i-DA ifuna ukudila nalesimo manje. Izolo ke bekuhlangene lapha eParliament NCOP lapho khona ominister abehlukene bebethula ibudget yabo bese kuthi ama-political parties ayi-support or ayi-reject. So i-EFF, i-DA ne-MK ivote against i-budget. Uminister ke lokho akumphathanga kahle. Uzuthi labantu abavota against i-budget abaphanishi yena as uDr Nobuhle Nkabane. Uma futhi benenkinga noDr Nobuhle Nkabane, isenzo sabo sizophanisha abantwana laba abadinga le budget njengoba NSFAS namanye ama-institution anjengalawa amaningi. Into engizoyenza ke ngizomcaphuna uminister la. Kodwa ngaphambi komcaphuna ngicela like le video, comment, ushare. Ungasupporta futhi ngokujoin membership, ungasupporta ngokusdonatela noma ngamalini onayo. Ikhona account comment ephiniwe. Ngiyafisa ukuzwa ukuphawula kwakho ukuthi wena ngesingawe usuyilalele lenkulumo ubabuka besephutheni nalabo abangayisupportanga ibudget. Ubabuka nawe ukuthi labantu ngokusenzo sabo bacindezela abacindezele nominister kodwa bacindezela i-department yonke, okungukuthi bacindezela ngisho ama-student afunda mhlambe nge-NSFAS. Ngiyacela ukuzwa kuwe uminister ke mayikhuluma ukhulume kanje.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson, and I just want to welcome the inputs by honorable members, all of them that actually engaged during this session. I just want to indicate that we reaffirm our position as adopted by the Congress of the People on the 26th of June 1955, where they said the doors of learning and culture shall be open. It's a pity and unfortunate that today we are witnessing some of the honorable members not actually accepting and adopting this budget vote. And those who are actually rejecting the budget are rejecting the transformation of the post-school education and training sector in South Africa. They are not rejecting the budget of Nobuhle Nkabane. This is not the budget of Nobuhle Nkabane, it's the budget of the people of South Africa. Honorable Britt spoke about some of the commitments that the minister has made, in particular around the fintech companies that are more like a middleman, as well as the lease agreement. It's unfortunate again that we find ourselves in this situation. However, it is beyond us. We appealed the outcome of the court as post-school education and training. However, the order of the court that said on the 9th of May 2025, because we're to appeal it, all of us want to root out corruption. We don't want this maladministration. The court just ruled against us to say we want to cut ties with these 4 fintech companies and also to terminate the lease agreement that we have with the building here in the Western Cape that is charging us 2.5 million rates. All of us, we don't want that. We wouldn't appeal it if we want it to stay. We want that 5% to benefit the young people of South Africa to access post-school education and training. It cannot be only us who manage to access post-school education and training. Even the generations and generations to come must be able to access these funds. You know, when you're against transformation, it irritates a lot when you see a young woman leading such a huge ministry in your presence. It's misogyny. I understand it. I know where it is coming from. And worse, when it is a black woman, it becomes irritational.
Order, members, order.
The EFF raised...
Honorable Minister, can you please take your seat?
Oh.
Honorable Mukai, can I remind you of rule number 47? Please do allow the minister an opportunity to express, not only you, but the rest of you. I hear a rowdy noise on my left-hand side as well. Can you be please patient with her? She was seated quietly listening to your plight as you were presenting. Now she wants to reply. You want to deny her an opportunity to do just that. Whether you like it or you don't like her, just be patient. She is responding to what you have raised, and you were raising that not for your own sake, but for the people of South Africa. They're waiting anxiously at home to hear what would minister has to say from what you have been raising. Let us tolerate one another and be patient with one another. We're not going to run this house into a mockery. Please. Honorable Minister.
I just want to comment the issues raised by...
Can you please take your seat, Honorable Minister? What are you raising on, Honorable Billy?
Chairperson, I want to check if the minister is willing to take a question.
Responding to questions now here.
The minister doesn't seem to be happy to take the question. She is responding to questions.
You put it to her.
That's what she said. She has responded. Can you please?
I just wanted to check if she's a...
No. She does not want to take a question, Honorable Billy. What is expected of you to sit down, allow her. She's not prepared to take the question. She has responded.
She's a victim of racism.
Honorable Billy, can you respect the House? We're not going to create a dialogue. She has responded. She doesn't want to take the question. She wants to respond to the questions that have been posed. Over to you, Honourable Minister.
The Honourable from the EFF raised progressive interventions that should be considered, but not supporting the budget is disservice to the people of South Africa. I love those interventions that they've proposed, but the sad part of it is that now they are not supporting the budget. My question is, I'm asking myself, how then are we going to address those issues that have been raised? So, around the issue that has been raised about fruitless and wasteful expenditure for the 2024-2025 financial year, I think the honorable member here missed the point, or it was just an error. This is an irregular expenditure of 0.004.41%. It's not a fruitless and wasteful expenditure. I wish to indicate that as part of, hence I indicated that we appointed a new board of NSFAS that is overseen by the capable hands of a woman, Dr. Karen Stander. They've actually, even including the ministry, all of us, we've adopted a zero tolerance approach to fraud and corruption. That's why you don't see any corruption. Actually, we are rooting it out. And others are very irritated because we're acting now on these issues at NSFAS. Firstly, amongst the priority projects that they've actually adopted is to review organizational design and realignment, the loan management strategy, sustainable funding framework, transitional framework for student accommodation. Hence, all of us, we understand that there are some challenges in that space. And the other issue that they are looking at is ICT assessment and digital transformation strategy, because there is no real alignment with what the universities can provide and TVET. So we want to come up with that holistic ICT infrastructure that is going to speak to each other. And then the other issue that they are looking at is revised business operating model for them to be able to execute their mandate effectively and efficiently.
Honourable Minister, I'm afraid your time is up.
Thank you so much. Thank you
And
so much. Honourable.
accordingly,
Uminister yagcizelela ukuthi abantu laba abavote against ibudget baphikisana noma basendleleni transformation. Into abayinqanda transformation. Okunye futhi yinzondo esuke ibhekise kubantu besifazane. Angazi mina uminister ukushiso yini lokho kodwa akaboni ukuthi isizathu esenza lokhu indlela aziphathe ngayo. Nangendlela okwenzeke ngayo izinto uma ubheka indaba yabo chairperson bama-city boards bekhethwa abantu abangama-cadres we-ANC. Inkinga yokuqala le yenza ukuthi kube nezinkulumo eziningi eParliament. Iyo inkinga yokuqala. Okwesibili indlela naye aziphatha ngayo eseParliament. Njengoba i-DA siziyathatha igxathu lokuthi cha ayihambi iyofaka icala enkantolo ngoba uPresident Ramaphosa engeke aza act against uminister. So into engizoyenza ngizocaphuna uClement siza ukuthi yena utheni.
Now, let's remind you of what happened to give you some context. So let's take a few steps back. Minister Nkabani appointed board chairpersons of SETAs, right? The list of her appointments was leaked, revealing that she has appointed Gwede Mantashe's son and Gwede Mantashe's advisor as board chairpersons of 2 of the SETAs. Now, what was curious about these appointments was that the list was riddled with politicians. She had appointed to the boards of SETAs politically connected people. Curiously, though, she appointed Mantashe's son and Mantashe's advisor. Do you remember which minister she worked closely with before becoming Higher Education Minister? Gwede Mantashe. She was Gwede Mantashe's deputy in Minerals Resources, and after being promoted to be Minister of Higher Education, she then appoints Mantashe's son, an advisor, as board chairs. Is it a coincidence? Now, she tried to defend the appointments. In fact, when she was asked tough questions, she withdrew the appointments of the board chairpersons. She said that the decision to withdraw follows calls of greater transparency. But she wasn't off the hook just yet. Parliament wanted to know who advised her to make such appointments, because even Parliament was concerned about those appointments. And she claimed that it was an independent panel. She was asked for the names of the independent panel members, and she was refusing to disclose them until pressure mounted.
Chair, it is not compulsory for me to disclose the independent assessor. The independent panel that is assisting the minister. I'll first find out from them, get consent, if they are happy that I disclose their names. I cannot just come here and disclose information. I need to comply with the relevant legislation. I'm not going to respond to yes or no, unfortunately.
That's the attitude that she gave to parliamentarians who were trying to hold her accountable and ensure that there's transparency. In fact, it was a legal opinion that advised her to release the names of this independent panel. Do you remember this moment when she appeared in Parliament?
In your own view, Minister, what makes a person credible? When you say this one, Tebogo Chair, is credible or is not credible, what makes him credible in your own view? Minister?
What makes a person credible, Chair, is exactly how it is defined when you Google. By encyclopedia, you'll see what it means. It's exactly that.
You are not going to answer us. You are not going to answer us, Minister.
I've responded, Chairperson.
Yabona into enziwe uClement la nengicabanga ukuthi beyinhle kakhulu ukuthi asibuyisele emumva ukuthi asikhumbuze ukuthi kwenzakalani ukuze yonke lento ifike la isikhona manje kuze kube khona abantu abathi abayivotela ibudget. Siyazi ke uthe uChairperson wePortfolio Committee on Higher Education izolo wathi ibudget izophasa ngoba ngathi kuyovotwa ngomhla ka-23 kuJuly la iyovotela khona bese kuya decide ukuthi iyaphasa or not. So noma ngathiwa lama political parties ebamsene ethi ngeke ayivotele ibudget izophasa. Engani awayivotelanga ibudget le yahlehliswa inkantolo fiscal framework le ya reverswa inkantolo kodwa yaphasa noma kunjalo. So i-ANC izokwenza ngakho konke okusemandleni ukuthi iphase. Kodwa umbuzo esizibuza wona ukuthi ngabe i-ANC ibakhathalele nabantu, ikukhathalele okusho ngabantu. Ngabe i-ANC do they hold accountable na ama-ministers wabo? Na umbuzo osele manje funa sizibuze wona ukuthi sekwenzekile konke sonke siyabona nomphakathi uyabona uminister eqamba amanga simbone eqamba amanga wathi wayne independent panel of which abantu asebenza nabo wathi omunye advocate Terry Mutawu yena waye uchairperson advocate masevela useyaphinda futhi uminister uyavela usekuvela ukuthi lela kalikhuluma ngeqiniso. And into ebuhlungu ngalamasitha akhona kuphuma imali engawu 19 billion or 20 billion somewhere lapho ukuze kutrainwe abantu akutrainwa umuntu nanoyedwa. Ngicela vele phela othi yena wakwatrainwa kuwo lamasitha lawo wa benefit simbona ukuthi cha wena watrain. Utrain ubani? Ngake ngezwe ivideo ebuhlungu kaColin Malachi ethi le mali ephuma engamabhillion iyahlehla ibuyele emumva. Ibuyele emumva ku-National Treasury ngoba ingasetshenziswanga kungatrainwanga muntu.
I mean, there's billions of rands that are taken back to Treasury every year because sitters are unable to spend them. And people don't know about them. There's money being set aside for skills development of the youth of South Africa that because of poor planning, they are unable to implement them. That must be addressed urgently because there's a lot of young people on the streets of on our townships every day not doing anything. While we are creating employment opportunities for them, reskill them as a first opportunity, because if you are saying that their skills are not aligned to the economic activities of the country, but there's a budget for that. And South Africans must know that there's a budget set aside by the government of the ANC to reskill the people of South Africa. But that budget, it's end up being not used because those officials who are appointed as managers and directors, they don't plan properly. And if you can't plan, you can't spend. Because we are businessmen, you know, if you can't plan, you can't spend. Now, the poor planning system, those who are deploying government must whip those who are not implementing in administration, because we can't be taking back billions when we are saying that there's high level of unemployment.
Thinki manje sesiyaqonda sonke ukuthi kungani lama billions ebuyiselwe emuva. Yingoba kuqashwa abantu ngalohlelo le-career department. Kuqashwa abantu ngoba bengama members we-ANC, hayi ngoba bezosebenza badelive for abantu. Uyayibona ibhlungu kanjani lento ekhulunywa la? Ngasikhathi abantu abanama skills, abantu abasebenzi. Athi sizwe ukuthi ubaba uNtuli yena uthi njenge-ANC iliphi igxathu acanga ukuthi upresident ufuneka lithathe odabeni lika minister.
The DA has laid criminal complaints against the higher education minister. Do you accept that they are right about being concerned about the minister's actions in parliament?
I think all of us as parliamentarians, we were very concerned about the developments that have unfolded following the minister's appearance before the portfolio committee. So certainly we all have been very concerned. And what really comforted us was that already the matter has been reported to the Ethics Committee of Parliament, which is an institution within Parliament that has the authority to deal with misdemeanors or conduct that are inconsistent with what is attended to those of us who are members of Parliament.
Yeah.
I do believe that I think the DA is really taking a position that, in my own view, should not be an immediate position to be assumed, let alone by parties in the GNU, in a sense that you are part of the government of national unity. A matter has been taken to the Ethics Committee. There's no doubt that the Ethics Committee is credible. It has a capacity to deal with the issue. I would have expected that all of us would await the outcome of the Ethics Committee in Parliament, and out of which we can then decide whether more than what the Ethics Committee will determine is required for us to satisfy the requirement of justice being seen to have been done on the matter.
And Mdu, I mean, let's not beat around the bush. The minister lied here. Surely there must be action taken even by her own party, no?
That's correct. The minister misrepresented the facts in terms of what she said in Parliament, in the Portfolio Committee. And I'm quite certain that the leadership of the ANC in our head office is in a way somehow handling the matter.
Well, they're quiet. They're not saying anything. You are the caucus leader.
Well, some of the issues, Clement, when you deal with some of the problems, you don't deal with them in public, but you report about them in public, having taken a position and decided on the corrective measures.
You are the caucus leader in Parliament. Have you asked her to explain her actions as the chief whip? And how did she explain her actions to you? Were you satisfied with her explanation?
I've met with the study group on many occasions, including with the minister and the chair of the portfolio committee. And it was quite clear to me as I listened to the conversation that something terribly wrong happened in terms of her conduct in the portfolio committee, and including how she articulated the issues relating to the formation of the panel, or the so-called independent panel, which is currently in question for obvious reasons. So I wasn't satisfied with the clarification provided. I listened to it, but I said, well, the matter is before the Ethics Committee. It has been reported to the ANC in the headquarters. You have submitted the report to the President. Maybe let's not all of us try to be seen to be doing something about it. Let's allow the ANC, which has deployed all of us to Parliament, to deal with the matter in the same way that the President was appointed into the executive is starting the report to submit it, out of which I'm sure the President will decide his own actions.
Ngicela ukuzwa-ke ngesingawe, wena nje ngesingawe, do you think khona ama-actions azothathwa uPresident mayelana lonke lolu daba olwenzekile nje likaminister? Ikhona na inyathelo impela ezingathathwa uPresident na? Ngiyacela ukubuza ngesingawe nje. Ungichazele mhlawumbe wena ungakwazi ukungitshela ukuthi wena ngesingawe uma ucabanga zikhona iy'nyathelo ezingathathwa uPresident na against uminister, ngoba ngabe uPresident angafika esigabeni la funeka abeke khona abantu base-South Africa phambili rather than uminister wakhe we-ANC na? Asiyibambe le video la singasaqhubeki, kuningi kakhulu okukhulunyiwe lapha izolo, kodwa kuyisifiso sami ukuthi ngizwe kuwe ukuthi singambona na uPresident ebeka abantu base-South Africa phambili, singambona uPresident a-actor against uminister wakhe na, noma uzokwenza lento abayenza lapha ku-ANC ukuthi amsuse la ayombeka kwenye ipost kwenye iposition. Singakubona na lokho kwenzeka, singakubona na. Ilokho nje ngifisa ukwazi. Bengithi angikulethele lokho, kuningi kakhulu okukhulunywe eParliament izolo. Ayeza amavidiyo maningi, nqwaba yamavidiyo esizokhuluma ngawo. Ngithe nje asike silibheke lo daba. Udaba le-Portfolio Committee on Higher Education siyalilandela kakhulu ngoba ngachaza ekuqaleni ukuthi into yonke ethinta intsha ithinta ukuqhubeka kezwe nekusasa lezwe. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.